While 71% of CEOs think traditional leadership skills will carry them through 2025 and beyond, recent data from Korn Ferry reveals something shocking. 43% of senior executives are struggling with imposter syndrome, and the skills that got them to the C-suite are no longer enough. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the pace of change or questioning whether you have what it takes, you're not alone. And by the end of this video, you'll have the 3 unexpected skills that separate successful CEOs from those who burn out. Here's the reality most business schools won't tell you. PwC's 2025 CEO survey of 4,701 chief executives found that 42% believe their companies won't remain viable beyond a decade without significant reinvention. The rate of change in business has accelerated 183% since 2019 alone. And while everyone's talking about AI and digital transformation, the CEOs who are actually winning aren't just tech-savvy. They're mastering unexpected human skills that have nothing to do with your MBA. The problem? Most leaders are preparing for yesterday's challenges while the game has completely changed. The 2025 World's Most Admired Companies research reveals something fascinating. When hiring for leadership roles, they're no longer prioritizing experience or technical expertise as their top criteria. Instead, learning agility and curiosity have taken the #1 spot. I've analyzed leadership data from Korn Ferry, McKinsey, and the Harvard Business Review, studied companies like Patagonia and Salesforce who are winning with unconventional leadership approaches. And what I found will change how you think about executive success. If you're getting value from these Fortune 500 insights, hit that subscribe button. We dive deep into executive strategies like this every week. The CEOs who subscribe to this channel are the ones implementing these strategies before their competition even hears about them. Today, I'm breaking down 3 unexpected skills CEOs need now and beyond. Skills that have nothing to do with strategy documents or quarterly reports. Still, everything comes down to staying competitive, as 70% of organizations implement structured automation. Strategy number 1: mastering your imposter syndrome instead of hiding it. Here's something that would have been career suicide to admit 10 years ago. 71% of CEOs report experiencing imposter syndrome. That's not a weakness, that's a data point. And the Korn Ferry 2025 Global Workforce Survey found that this number has actually increased because today's CEOs are facing challenges they haven't been trained to handle. The CEOs who are winning aren't the ones pretending to have all the answers. They're the ones who've learned to manage imposter syndrome as a strategic advantage. Here's how they do it. First, they normalize uncertainty within their leadership teams. When Patagonia's Ryan Gellert became CEO, he openly acknowledged that solving complex problems on behalf of employees, customers, and communities means operating without a perfect playbook. His definition of leadership? If it were easy, I'm not sure the title leader would apply. Second, they replace perfection with learning velocity. Research shows that the half-life of a skill is now 6 years, meaning a skill learned today is worth half its value compared to 6 years ago. Top CEOs measure themselves not by how much they know, but by how fast they're learning. Third, they build uncertainty tolerance into their teams. Organizations with strong coaching cultures, where leaders admit what they don't know and focus on collective problem solving, report 13% higher engagement levels and 33% greater business performance. Implementation. Start your next leadership meeting by saying, "Here's what I don't know yet," before diving into what you do know. Track your learning metrics as seriously as your revenue metrics. Ask your team, what are we learning this quarter? Not just, what are we achieving? Strategy number 2, radical curiosity over experience. Here's the controversial truth. Your 10 years of experience might be worth less than a competitor's 10 months of curiosity. The World Economic Forum predicts that by 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced while 97 million new jobs emerge due to automation and technological shifts. The world's most admired companies aren't asking, "What have you done?" anymore. They're asking, "How fast can you learn what you've never done?" Here's the framework successful CEOs are using. First, they schedule unlearning sessions. Salesforce's leadership development program specifically trains executives to question their own expertise. They discovered that leaders with higher learning agility scores achieved 8.7% annual revenue growth compared to 3.2% for those who relied on past experience. Second, they implement reverse mentoring. At companies leading in AI adoption, CEOs are being mentored by employees half their age on emerging technologies. 75% of global business leaders say they're excited about AI's impact, but the ones actually benefiting are those learning from their youngest team members. Third, they're reading outside their industry. The most innovative CEOs spend 20% of their learning time on completely unrelated fields. Patagonia's Yvon Chouinard, who created a multi-billion-dollar company, famously said, "I never wanted to be a businessman." His background in climbing and environmental activism gave him perspectives that traditional business leaders missed. Quick question: which of these strategies challenges your current approach most? Drop it in the comments below. And if this is reshaping how you think about leadership, smash that like button so other executives can find this. Implementation. Block 2 hours weekly for curiosity time, learning something completely unrelated to your industry. Find a reverse mentor under 30 and meet monthly. Track learning velocity metrics. How many new skills did your leadership team acquire this quarter? Strategy. Number 3. Quiet leadership presence, the anti-charisma revolution. This might be the most counterintuitive skill of all. While everyone's looking for the next Steve Jobs, the CEOs actually winning in 2025 are masters of what leadership experts are calling quiet strength, or leadership without noise. The data is clear. 72% of leaders feel used up at the end of the day, a 12% increase from 2020. The exhaustion comes from performing leadership rather than practicing it. Here's what the shift looks like. First, they've replaced visibility with ballast. The most trusted CEOs in the 2025 PwC survey aren't the loudest. They're the ones who create stability, delay action wisely, and lead with discernment. When 42% of CEOs say their companies might not survive the decade, the response isn't louder messaging, it's stronger anchoring. Second, they've mastered strategic silence. Research from Gartner shows that 70% of organizations will implement structured automation by 2025. The CEOs leading this transition aren't talking about AI every day. They're quietly building infrastructure while their competitors exhaust their teams with constant transformation announcements. Third, they practice presence as performance. The leadership skills ranking highest in 2025 surveys: emotional restraint, foresight, and operational clarity, not charisma, not aggressive expansion. When London Business School analyzed leadership effectiveness, they found winners allow those in authority roles to act as enablers, facilitators, and orchestrators, as opposed to directors and commanders. Think about Patagonia's approach. They don't announce every sustainability initiative. They quietly transferred 100% ownership to environmental causes and let the results speak louder than any press release could. Before we get to implementation, this is exactly why business leaders continue to join our community for weekly strategies like this. If you want to think and act like a Fortune 500 executive, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, the CEOs who implement these strategies early are the ones leaving their competition in the dust. Implementation. Audit your communication. Are you creating clarity or noise? Replace one weekly all-hands meeting with written strategic updates. Practice strategic delay. Before announcing major decisions, wait 48 hours. Ask your team, do you feel anchored or overwhelmed by my leadership? Your 30-day implementation plan. Week 1, Imposter Syndrome Audit. Acknowledge one uncertainty in your next leadership meeting. Survey your team. What don't we know yet? Start tracking learning metrics alongside performance metrics. Week 2, Curiosity Framework. Schedule your first curiosity time block. Identify a potential reverse mentor. Pick one unrelated industry to study. Week 3, Quiet Leadership Assessment. Audit your communication, clarity versus noise ratio. Replace one meeting with a written strategic update. Practice a 48-hour strategic delay on your next major decision. Week 4. Measurement and iteration. Compare team engagement before and after changes. Collect feedback. Do you feel more anchored or more overwhelmed? Adjust your approach based on results. The CEOs implementing these skills are seeing measurable results. 8.7% revenue growth, 33% better business performance, 13% higher engagement, but only if you actually implement them. Join our community for implementation support and discussion. Before you implement these 3 unexpected CEO skills, help other leaders discover these insights. The strategies we just covered, mastering imposter syndrome, building radical curiosity, and developing quiet leadership presence, are exactly what separates successful executives from those burning out in 2025. Hit like if these unexpected skills challenged your thinking about leadership, subscribe for more Fortune 500 strategies that actually work, and share this with an executive or entrepreneur who needs to see this. Which of these 3 skills surprised you most? Imposter syndrome management, radical curiosity, or quiet leadership? Drop it in the comments below and join leaders who are transforming their approach with these weekly insights.
This is the C-Suite Playbook, where Fortune 500 strategies meet actionable insights. Your competitive advantage starts here.